I don't like J.J. Abrams. He's coarse and rough, and he gets everywhere.
Wait a minute!
Featuring Jovan Adepo and Wyatt Russell as the main leads, and Pilo as... hold on, let me look this up. Let's see. Asbeck? Okay. Pilo Asbeck as the villain. Overlord delivers some over-the-top, bloody, World War II body horror action. Pretty fun and straightforward. Let's dive right in. It's the day before D-Day. Private Ed Boyce is crammed into what's most likely a Douglas C-37, and as the soldiers around him joke and converse, like the mysterious Corporal Ford, his mind is elsewhere. Bokeem Woodvine makes their objective clear. The 120,000 brave souls about to make history will need air support as they take the beach and push inward, but the radio installations will prevent that. The Nazis have a tower on a church, and Snake Plissken and Corporal Ford is a demolition expert.
You are lucky to have him. He will obey his commands as if you heard my own beautiful voice coming from his lips.
Now, once they reach the drop zone, we get reminded that the setting for the horror we will see is war, as the men inside the plane are ripped to pieces by gunfire, and the plane itself tears apart as they prepare to jump. We see Boyd shoved from the plane, after promising his friend he'll see him on the ground. He survives the fall, escapes drowning, only to be subject to roaming groups of Nazis, killing any paratrooper they see still alive. He spots Sergeant Bokeem Woodvine, and Corporal Ford stops him from committing suicide by making his presence known. Of course, the Nazis gun the sergeant down. Corporal Ford leads him away. They have a mission to accomplish. After linking up with the most talkative trio of soldiers, they head towards well, rip. After escaping the minefield, they happen upon a French girl in the woods.
Can't let anyone know we're here.
Run.
They chase her down, and it just so happens that she lives in the very village they need to get to. She leaves them there, and Ford takes everyone but Boyce to check out her home. After witnessing the villainous Captain Waffner? Let's just go with Waffner. From afar, they escape to the home Chloe shares with her aunt and little brother.
What the hell is that?
My aunt. She's sick.
Yeah, maybe with the T-virus. What the hell is wrong with her, dude?
What the hell is even that?
In the attic, Ford takes inventory of their explosives, discussing a plan with Tibbet, who reminds him they're hopelessly outnumbered. And their team consists of a guy whose main weapon was a camera, and another guy who can't bring himself to kill a mouse. Ford sends Boyce downstairs to keep everything kosher, and Boyce gets curious as he hears the sick aunt, so he peeps into her room, and oh, hell no! What was that?
Well, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
Tibbet and Chase get sent out to do some recon, and in their absence, Captain Waffner comes in, doing his best Hans Landa impression. It's clear he's responsible for whatever happened to Chloe's aunt, as he's the one who rounds up volunteers who then disappear into the church, which is also what happened to Chloe's parents. He has some sort of sexual relationship with Chloe, and it's one where she can't actually have consent. What is that called again?
I'm a full-on rapist, you know?
To coerce her, he instructs the soldiers to find Paul, her little brother. Paul drops his ball, which alerts Waffner to a presence in the attic, where Ford and Boyce are hiding. And Paul is a smart kid, so he convinces the soldiers he was upstairs fooling around with a baseball. Waffner threatens to take little Paul if Chloe doesn't honor their rape agreement, but Boyce can't let it stand. They take Waffner prisoner, and now the entire timeline of the mission is in jeopardy. Ford sends Boyce after Tibbet and Chase, and he happens upon a truckload of deformed men being unloaded and burnt alive. These, as it turns out, are failed experiments. After being chased by a dog, he escapes into a truck full of dead soldiers that's going into the compound. Boyce escapes the truck as those dead bodies are being unloaded. He comes into a lab built around a pit of black bubbling goo with the viscosity of oil. It's seemingly being pumped into bags and possibly gestated inside human bodies. As he opens the zipper on a sack, and there's a man inside, and he's conscious and breathing, and the man asks for his help. It's gross.
Jesus Christ!
He retreats into another lab to see the head of a woman with part of her spine attached, and she's also talking, so that's also gross.
Thank you.
And then he moves into another room and happens upon his friend Rosenfeld. He's hooked up, and they're pumping something into him. So he rips the tube out, and they escape into a drainage system and make it back to Chloe's house. They clean Rosenfeld up as Boyce lets Ford know about the crazy shit he saw in the church. So Ford heads upstairs and begins torturing Captain Waffner, stringing him up like a blood turkey and beating the shit out of him. Now, Boyce can't handle it, and he gets sent downstairs with a punch for good measure when he tries to stop Ford.
Get the fuck out of here.
And when Ford is done, he comes down with information. He never finds out what they're doing specifically inside the church, but he does know that there are at least 40 men inside. But their original plan is going to stay the same, and they've got to move now. They're running out of time. Chase gets sent to grab Captain Waffner alone.
You're a victim.
Oh boy.
Wake up. I think I'm gonna need some help.
Chase is shot because he doesn't understand how to transport prisoners while ensuring they aren't a threat. You know, like untying their hands. And he actually dies in a well-done scene.
Chase.
Boyce, who took a syringe full of the serum, jams it into Chase. It works. But Chase has changed. We get a pretty gnarly body horror sequence before Chase attacks Boyce and gets put down by Ford.
What's wrong with him?
Only to get up again before Boyce clocks him with the rifle. And finally, we see an accurate depiction of what would happen if you slammed a heavy, pointed gun butt of an 8 to 10 pound rifle into someone's head. In Bedlam, Waffner escapes, grabs Chloe's kid brother, and triggers a shootout that ends with Boyce blowing his face open as he escapes. Okay, new plan. They're going to go into the church, blowing both the lab and the radio installation, and saving Chloe's brother. Inside the lab, Waffner injects himself with not one, but 2 syringes of 115, even while Richthofen insists the serum isn't ready yet. Outside, the Thunderbolts... my bad. Outside, Ford's crew sets their plan into motion. Rosenfeld and Tippett will draw fire, giving Chloe and crew enough time to jerry-rig a Nazi into a suicide bomber and infiltrate the base. Ford needs Boyce to get to the control room so they can rig the explosives, and then head to find Chloe's brother. Ford sets the charges for the control room while Boyce heads to the lab, linking up with Chloe again and saving her life, before whatever was in the shadows of that dark cell drags the guard in and gobbles him up. They find her kid brother and Boyce sends him off so he can finish the job. But during the escape, Chloe ends up sending Paul on alone, and she fights one of the zombies, finally burning him to death with the flamethrower. Little Paul makes it back to the town where Rosenfeld and Tippett are in the middle of a firefight, and Tippett saves Paul but is shot in the process. In the lab, Boyce kills Richthofen, while in the control room, Uberwaffner beats up Ford, drags him into the lab, and hangs him on a fucking meat hook. Wow, holy smokes. He explains that the serum that is indeed distilled from the tar flowing beneath France, that it just needed to be gestated, infiltrated in human bodies, and extracted to reach its full potential. Boyce shoots Uberwaffner. Looks like that's probably an M1 Garand. Uberwaffner turns his attention to him, giving Ford enough time to unhook himself from the meat hook and take the serum himself. Now, he's not as powerful as Uberwaffner, but using some tactical teamwork, they're able to blast Waffner into a well. Boyce helps Ford to his feet, but heroically, Ford slams the gate shut as soon as Boyce is free, trapping himself in the room with the zombie soldiers. Boyce has to finish the job, and Ford has to die with the rest of the goddamned experiments to ensure the US doesn't get their hands on this technology either. Open the gate! It's clear that Boyce really doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to leave Ford behind, so Ford gives him no choice.
Thanks.
While Boyce sets the timer on the charges, Ford blows himself up, taking Uberwaffner and the super soldiers with him. And in a pretty great sequence, Boyce runs for his life from the collapsing stronghold, making it outside before being swallowed in smoke from the collapsing structure. After making it back to the town, covered in dirt, he has to inform the rest of the team that Ford didn't make it out alive. But with the insulation down, air support reigns free, and Boyce is debriefed, making sure not to mention the buried secrets below the church. Boyce, Tippett, and Rosenfeld get folded into another company because the job's not done.
And then pop.
We all go home.
This story picks up in Sniper Elite 5, and that's Overlord. It is a fun, decently thrilling, well-acted popcorn flick, perfect for throwing on with a couple of friends. I remember seeing this in theaters way back in 2018, which was approximately 70 years ago at this point, and I enjoyed it again when I watched it this time. So that's all I got for you. Spooktoberfest rolls on. Peace out.